So welcome back to the channel. It's most likely going to be a GTI upgrade video on my Mark II GTI. I got a race coming up in 2 weeks, and I'm a little worried about the race coming up, mainly because last year at the same race that I'm going to, I blew my LS6 out of my C5 Corvette. LS6 is sitting over there, the brand new LS3 stroker is sitting right there, and brand new tire machine. I got too many projects. Anyway, I'm worried about blowing up my 8-valve in my Mark II GTI. So, got a couple things. Starting out here, the first thing I got going on is I got this oil pan that's baffled. I'm gonna get that out here in a second, and I got an oil catch can. Mainly got the oil catch can because I'm gonna overfill this on its oil. And the last time I did that, a lot of oil came out of the breather and ended up in my air intake. So I'm gonna put a little catch can in there to try to catch that. So I'm hoping that between a new baffled pan and oil catch can should help collect some of that oil and breather or oil fumes out of the breather. So without further ado, let's get to work on this girl, because I do not want to be getting a brand new engine just like I did for my Corvette. By the way, I've got an oil pan. I got a dry sump system for this car. I got the oil pan pump already ordered. It's here. It's actually sitting in that box right there. And then I just got done ordering my dry sump tank for it as well. I'm kind of making some room. Maybe gonna put it there. Most likely gonna put it in the trunk. Get that all ran, and then I can get the pan on the engine. And I already got the motor mounts and everything. Get that mocked up and in there. Already got the carbon fiber drive shaft installed. Just got to get the rest of the parts. But until then, let's get going on this GTI. All right, catch can. There are a lot of videos that talk about these. There's a lot of information out there. Figure it out yourself. I'm just going for it. Can't hurt anything, right? It's just money. Well, it looks like it comes with instructions if you're into that kind of thing. By the way, this is the Evil Energy. So I'll link it on below. It's a small little catch can from Amazon. And one of the reasons I got this one is because this one does have a little bit of a baffle in it, not much. I think I'm gonna put some steel wool in there because I've seen other people do that, and this one has a little dipstick, so you can check how much fluid is in the can, because especially how small this is, you'll need to be emptying it quite a bit, most likely. So, got that. It's got a couple different ends for putting different types of hose in there. I'm just going to, I don't know which one I'm gonna use yet. And a little bit of an aluminum bracket, looks like. So, let's try to find a spot for this in the engine bay. I'm going to install this one. So the PCV valve right here, create the positive crankcase pressure that comes from here. For emissions reasons, the valve lets it come in and it gets pushed back into your air intake, and then it's supposed to go back through and burn it up. But instead of that oil vapor just going back through, I want the oil vapor to condense inside this, and that way it's not going back into the engine, improving performance and clean and longevity of the engine, all that good stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna find a place to put this, and I'm basically gonna tee this where it comes out of that, goes into the catch can, and then from the catch can goes into this. Now I just gotta find a spot for it. I'm gonna mount this right here to this metal piece right behind this pole, and then the lines come into this side, out into there, and this will be really easy to check and clean and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this a little bit to make it work. Everybody critique my welding. It's really shitty. But yeah, I just tack welded it, a couple spots on top, a couple spots on bottom. It's gonna melt in there, and it's super strong. But this is gonna bolt in right there. Just gotta run the lines. Let's get that going. All right, so I admit the little extension I put on here is a little ghetto, but I'm reusing the stock hose and this little piece of clear. I guess I'll be able to see what's going in there. I don't know. Anyway, it's bigger than this one, so it shouldn't impede flow at all. Not that there's going to be a bunch of flow. But, and then I just put this hose literally inside the stock hose. It just needs a vent. Should be fine. Anyway, it's super secure. It's welded in. Really easy to do, really quick. Really easy to change. I can just unscrew that and I can take the oil out of there and it won't get on everything. So that's it for the catch can. That was like 20 minutes worth of work or less. Now the baffled oil pan. Let's take that out and look at it. I got a rubber gasket, so that's what this is. So yeah, we'll see how that works. All I care about is this pan. This is actually pretty heavy. I wasn't expecting to be so heavy, but I don't know how heavy the stock one is, but it is baffled in the sense that the oil pickup's in here, and you know, once the oil's in there, it should stay in there, and sloshing around, you can kind of see these little, if I can hold it just right. You can see that. So as the oil wants to go that way, door closes. As the oil wants to go the other way, it opens. So it should help keep the oil right around the pickup to hopefully stop some oil starvation issues. And I got another thing coming, but yeah, it's nicely coated. Seems really strong. I actually wish that they had an aluminum option that was way lighter, but you know, hey, this should be really strong. Got a nice little drain plug, and they already have a welded in bit. I'm not gonna turbo this car, but this would be nice to have like a drain back spot. So really cool. Hopefully it fits. We'll find out. Let's get going. All right, it's that time. Got the new pan, drained all the oil. 20 bolts, hold that in. I'm gonna get to work taking those off. And this angle here explains why these pans get hit so often. There's nothing to protect you. You go into a speed bump and that's the first thing that hits. So yeah, a lot of Mark II owners know about that. All right, so all the bolts are off. But you know, you think just, oh, it's gonna drop off. It's not. It's hitting, you can't really see it on camera maybe, but right here, yeah, you can. This little nub. And well, sorry, I turned the camera off and then I got mad and I just hit it a bunch of times and it fell down. So apparently to get it past this, just hit it a lot and it falls down. So yeah, no real issues with anything in here. There's no metal or nothing. Everything looks really clean. This is a high mileage car, 309 or something thousand miles. So getting this thing, I'm gonna try to make sure this one fits. It's got this, I've never seen this before. I don't know, I don't take the oil pans off of Volkswagens often, but this little plastic thing that, oh shit. That is very brittle. Wow. Wow, I was gonna say like, oh, it's, oh, Jesus. Oh, I'm not pushing that hard. There's these little plastic clips. So yeah, so anyway, that goes on there. Looks like to help oil from moving around. And that is definitely not gonna fit inside this pan. So there's a bracket right here that goes like that. 2 bolts, 13 millimeter over there, and then on this little nub on the back side, there's a 13 millimeter nut. Take that off, because to get the pan in, you've got to essentially get this, and you've got to kind of like start here and then push it back. So to get this in, you kind of got to go too far this way, get it up close, and then slide it that way, and it'll go in. So I got that installed. It was fairly easy, except for these 2 bolts are like almost impossible to get a normal size wrench in there or a socket. I was using, you know, this 10 millimeter and that didn't work. So on the end of a swivel on a, what is it, a 1/4 inch wrench, that kind of gets in there. But then it has trouble, at least with this one, when you push against it, this one collapses and it doesn't swivel anymore, so it's kind of a pain. But I got it in there. Got it tightened down, And yeah, I think I'm ready to put some oil in this thing and start it up. So let's get that done. So this is just typical my luck, I think. I got to get the car in the trailer tomorrow night anyway. I had this poked up so that way it wouldn't hit anything when I was putting it in, and now, yeah, it doesn't go in. So that was such a pain in the ass to put that last couple of bolts in that pan. I do not want to do it again, and I don't know what's hitting. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I can see where it's hitting the pan, take it back out, and reset. So I guess I'm taking the pan off. Well, you should learn from my mistake. Don't completely put it in and tighten everything before checking that your dipstick goes all the way down. So when I was putting the dipstick in, you see this little notch right here? Well, it was not going down all the way. It kept getting stopped. So I just kind of pushed in really hard and wiggled it around, and it ended up making a mark on this. So when I took it out, I could see that the mark was about there, and I just took this whole thing off and notched that out, because underneath the car, that dipstick comes down right here, and you'll see that it could go like that, but there's a lot of pressure on it forcing it this way, and if it was just barely over there, it would have been fine, but it's not. So I notched that out, and I'm gonna put it back on, and hopefully it fits. So here I go, install number 2. Turns out I never shot an outro video. I've had the pan on there for about 3 or 4 races, no leaks at all, everything looking good, doing well. I actually, the very first race after I put that on, I took it to the track where I blew my LS6. The car was holding 1.6 to 1.7, maybe 1.8 in the peak, or almost 1.9 peak G load in the corners, and no oil starvation issues at all. This thing ran like a champ, other than some air issues. That is one of my other videos I talked about. But yeah, my catch can never actually got any oil in it at all. So I know that oil pan is working with its baffles, because the race before this, or before I put that on there, with the oil filled, I was getting a lot of oil coming back into my air intake, and no problems whatsoever. No oil problems at all, working great. So I'm gonna end the video here. Thanks for watching. Click on link down below or wherever if you want more videos on the GTI. I keep telling myself I'm not gonna spend any more money on this car, but just got done ordering a set of race seats and harness bar, all that kind of stuff for it. So that'll be an upcoming video for this soon. And if you're interested in oil related things, I probably have a video hopefully soon of the dry sump system on my aluminum blocked LS3 stroker that's going in the Corvette, waiting on the tanks though. So that's going to be who knows how long. Anyway, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.